Bunitya Yadvaita Gadadhar Shiva Sadi Gaura Bhakta Vrindari Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare Ram Ram Ram. Continue from Srimad Bhagavatam Canto 3, Chapter 24, Text 18. Isha manavite garbham pravishta keta bhar danaha avidya shamshaya granthim chitvagam vicharishyati. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Lord Brahma then told Devahuti, my dear daughter of Manu, the same Supreme Personality of Godhead who killed the demon Caitanya is now within your womb. He will cut off all the knots of your ignorance and doubt. Then he will travel all over the world. Here the word avidya is very significant. Avidya means forgetfulness of one's identity. So avidya, ignorance, what we say ignorance, forgetful. So what is ignorance? We think, oh, if I don't know what's happening in today's news, that means I'm ignorant. If I don't have a good degree of some material knowledge, then I'm ignorant. But here, ignorant, what does it ignorant mean? Avidya means forgetfulness of one's identity. Every one of us is a spirit soul, but we have forgotten. We think, I'm this body. This is called avidya. Samshaya granthi means doubtfulness. The knot of doubtfulness is tied when the soul identifies with the material world. The knot is also called ahankar, the junction of matter and spirit. So how is it that we are the soul, right? Each of us is spirit soul, but now we are thinking we are the body. And because we are thinking we are the body, we are suffering, we are crying, we are, soul is supposed to be Satchid Ananda. Satchid Ananda is not supposed to feel unhappy. Then why are we feeling the unhappiness? Oh, and soul is Sat Chit. Why we are feeling ignorant if it's all Chit, if it's all knowledge? Why we get forgetful is because of this false ego. This false ego is what keeps us here inside this body and makes us think we are the body. It is so subtle, and it's just next to the soul. The soul is spiritual, and then the false ego is it's very subtle, but that's what's keeping us here. We think we are the body because of this false ego. That's why it's called the junction between matter and spirit. By proper knowledge received from the scriptures in disciplic succession, and by proper application of that knowledge, one can free himself from this binding combination of matter and spirit. So how can we free ourselves? That we receive this knowledge in the disciplic succession and then apply the knowledge. That's why it's called science of self-realization, that the knowledge can be applied. It's practical. Practical. It's not just some theory or it's not just some speculation. It is practical. We can apply it and we can see the result. What's the result? That we can free ourselves from this ahankar that is keeping us here thinking that we are the body. Brahma assures Devahuti that her son will enlighten her. And after enlightening her, he will travel all over the world distributing the system of Sankhya Philosophy. The word samshaya means doubtful knowledge. Speculative and pseudo-yogic knowledge is all doubtful. At the present moment, the so-called yoga system is prosecuted on the understanding that by agitation of the different stations of the bodily construction, one can find that he is God. The mental speculators think similarly, but they're all doubtful. Real knowledge is expounded in Bhagavad Gita. So you see, if we follow some process, thinking that, oh, if I'm I'm going to follow some kind of a yoga. Why it's called so-called yoga system? Because it's not truly yoga. The yoga system which is there in the authorized yoga system, the Ashtanga yoga, we were hearing a bit of glimpses about it, not even properly. And that it takes so long and you have to follow the do's, don'ts, go to a lonely place, thousands of years. And what is the purpose of that? To see the super soul in the heart, not to think that, not to find that we are God. So that's why it's called so-called yoga. And also mental speculators think similarly, but they're all doubtful. So what is real knowledge? Real knowledge is Krishna is giving in the Bhagavad Gita. What is Krishna saying? Just become Krishna conscious. He says, Sarva dharmam parityagya mam ekam sharanam raja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayashyami ma suchaha. He's saying, just give up, abandon all varieties of religion and surrender unto me. That's Krishna consciousness. Manmana bhava mad bhakto mad yaji mam namaskuru. Just worship Krishna and become a devotee of Krishna. That is real knowledge. And anyone who follows that system becomes perfect without a doubt. So here, if we just follow this, just worship Krishna, that's what Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita. So if we just follow Krishna's instructions in the Bhagavad Gita, become Krishna conscious, worship Krishna, we will become perfect. And there is no doubt about it. Krishna is saying, do not fear. Do not fear, have faith, he's saying. Don't doubt what I'm giving you this knowledge about and apply this knowledge. He's saying you apply it, you become Krishna conscious. How do you apply it? You think of me, he's saying. You become my devotee, you worship me. That's practical application of knowledge. And without doubt, you will come to me. You will be situated in your original position. Original. We will remember our original identity. We don't, you see, the science of self-realization is not that we need to become anyone. We just have to rediscover our original identity, who we truly are. Is that okay?
Yes.
So read more. 19. Ayam siddha ganadishaha Sankhya Charye susammataha loke kapila iti akhyam gantate kirti vardhanaha. The son will be the head of all the perfected souls. He will be approved by the acharyas, expert in disseminating real knowledge. And among the people, he will be celebrated by the name Kapila. As the son of Devahuti, he will increase your fame. So here Brahmaji is coming and telling Devahuti, hey, listen, this child, he is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord. He's going to propound the Sankhya philosophy with which the ignorance of the people will go away. And he is going to be also declared as the incarnation of the Lord by all the expert acharyas, by the acharyas. And he's going to give real knowledge to the people. So we can see when an incarnation really appears in the world, then the great devotees, the Shastras, they all inform us of this. Not that everyone can become an incarnation of the Lord. No, the specific information is given in the Shastras. So Sankhya philosophy is the philosophical system enunciated by Kapila, the son of Devahuti. The other Kapila, who is not the son of Devahuti, is an imitation. This is the statement of Brahma. And because we belong to Brahma's disciplic succession, we should accept his statement that the real Kapila is the son of Devahuti, and that real Sankhya philosophy is the system of philosophy which he introduced and which will be accepted by the acharyas, the directors of spiritual discipline. The word susamata means accepted by persons who are counted upon to give their good opinion. So the expert, the acharyas, they accept that the real Kapila Dev is the son of Devahuti and not the imitation Kapila. It seems there is an imitation Kapila who gave some imitation Sankhya philosophy, but that is not approved by the authorities. For example, you have a diamond, a real diamond, and you have a fake diamond. So a real diamond, you can get it certified by, there is like the GIA Institute, for example, that can certify, yes, this is a real diamond. But if you give the GIA Institute a fake diamond, they'll say, no, this is fake. It's not a diamond. So like that. So there's always authority. We can see if there's authority in material things, of course, there is authority in spirituality also, Not that the authority is only for material. So Maitreya Vacha Tav Ash Vasya Jagat Srashtam Kumare Saha Naradaha Hamso Hamsena Yanena Tridhama Paramam Yayo. Sri Maitreya said, after thus speaking to Kardama Muni and his wife Devahuti, Lord Brahma, the creator of the universe, who is also known as Hamsa, went back to the highest of the three planetary systems on his swan carrier with the four Kumaras and Narada. The words Hamshena Yanena are very significant here. Hamsayan, Hamsayana, the airplane by which Brahma travels all over outer space, resembles a swan. Brahma is also known as Hamsa, because he can grasp the essence of everything. His abode is called Tridhama Paramam. There are three divisions of the universe: the upper planetary system, the middle planetary system, and lower planetary system. But his abode is even above, its abode is above even Siddhaloka, the upper planetary system. So Brahmaji, his carrier is the swan carrier, and also Hamsa is why Hamsa is also significant, because the Hamsa knows how to get the essence. Like the swan can separate the milk, I'm sorry, from the water. So means what? It can extract the essence. What is the important thing from here? Let me take that. So a Hamsa, the swan, is expert in that. So Brahma is called Hamsa because he can very quickly understand what's the essence. He understood the full Bhagavatam in 4 verses. Chaturshloki Bhagavatam. Krishna told him the Bhagavatam in 4 verses. Here we have 18,000 verses and we're still trying to understand, So we can understand Lord Brahma's qualification. He's highly qualified, highly. He is a living entity, yes, but very qualified living entity. And then the universe is called, why it's called Triloka? It's usually divided as the hellish planets, the middle planets, and the upper planets. So usually upper planets goes only up to Swargalok. But that's the reason, that's how people call it. But beyond this Swargalok, they are the higher planets, the Janalok, Tapalok, Mahalok. And even the highest is Lord Brahma's Satyalok. That's the highest planet inside this material universe, Brahmalok. He returned to his own planet with the 4 Kumaras and Narad because they were not going to be married. Okay, it's because he had brought the 9 rishis to be married to the 9 girls of Kardama. But the 4 Kumaras and Narad Muni, they're like, no, we are not going to get married. So he brought them. The other rishis who came with him, such as Marichi and Atri, remained there because they were to be married to the daughters of Kardama. But his other sons, Sanat, Sanak, Sanandana, Sanatan, and Narad, went back with him in his swan-shaped airplane. So they don't need visas. They already have their paperwork done. They have the visas. They can travel any planet within the universe. Narad Muni can even travel into the spiritual world. 4 Kumaras, they entered the spiritual world. So the 4 Kumaras and Narad are Naishtika Brahmacharis. Naishtika Brahmachari refers to one who never wastes his semen at any time. So Naishtika Brahmachari means brahmachari, since they enter the brahmachari ashram, at the age of 5 or something, the boys, they enter the brahmachari ashram, and then throughout they remain brahmachari, never get married. They were not to attend the marriage ceremony of their other brothers, Marichi and other sages, and therefore they went back with their father, Hamsa. Any questions or comments? No, then reading on. Gate shata dhrito shataha kardamasti inachoditaha yatoditam svaduhritihi svaduhitriha pradat vishwasrajam tataha. O Vidur, after the departure of Brahma, Kardama Muni, having been ordered by Brahma, handed over his 9 daughters as instructed to the 9 great sages who created the population of the world. So these sages they are the Prajapatis. They are meant to increase the population of the world, Marichaye kalam pradad anasuyam athatraye shaddham angirase yachad Pulastyaya havir bhuvam pulahaya gatim yuktam kritave cha kriyam satim khyatim cha bragave yachad vashisthyapi arundhatim. Kardama Muni handed over his daughter Kala to Marichi and another daughter Anasuya to Atri. He delivered Shraddha to Angira and Havirbhu to Pulastya. He delivered Gati to Pulaha, the chaste Kriya to Kritu, Khyati to Bhrigu, and Arundhati to Vashishta. Atharvane Dadachantim Yaya Yagno Vitanyate Viprashabhan Kritodvahan Sadaran Samalalayat. He delivered Shanti to Atharva. Because of Shanti, sacrificial ceremonies are well performed. Thus, he got the foremost Brahmanas married and he maintained them along with their wives. Oh, he's maintaining them. Tatasta Rishaya Shataha Krita Dara Nimantrayatam Pratishtan Nandim Apanaha Swam Ashrama Mandalam. Thus married, the sages took leave of Kardama and departed full of joy, each for his own hermitage or Vidur. Okay, going back to each individual home. Sachavatirnam triyugam agnaya vibudharsh shabham vivikta upasangamya pranamya sambhashata. When Kardama Muni understood that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the chief of all the demigods, Vishnu, had descended, Kardama approached him in a secluded place, offered obeisances, and spoke as follows. Lord Vishnu is called Tri-Yuga. He appears in 3 yugas, Satya, Treta, and Dwapara. But in Kali Yuga, he does not appear. From the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj, however, we understand that he appears garbed as a devotee in Kali Yuga. Lord Chaitanya is that devotee. Krishna appeared in the form of a devotee, but although he never disclosed himself, Rupa Goswami could understand his identity, for the Lord cannot hide himself from a pure devotee. So Krishna, many times he's called Tri-Yuga. Of course, Garga Muni, he said that your son comes in all the ages. He was telling Nanda Maharaj, at the name-giving ceremony. He told, oh, your son comes in all the yogas. He comes in Satyug, Dwapar Kalyug, Treta Yuga, and he takes these forms, these different colors. He also said the golden color means referring to Lord Chaitanya, that Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya. But sometimes Krishna is called Tri-Yuga because not many people know that he comes, because he comes as a covered Chana avatar. He comes as a covered incarnation in Kali Yuga when he comes as Lord Chaitanya, because he comes as a devotee to show us, to show how to become a devotee, show how to get perfection. You know, when the teacher just talks and talks and the children are like, oh my God, we don't understand what you're talking about. So then what does the teacher do? She takes the hand and writes and shows them how to do. That's how we are in Kali Yuga, because we really have no qualification. So Lord Chaitanya comes and says, you do what I'm doing. I'm chanting and dancing, you chant and dance. I am hearing Bhagavatam, you hear Bhagavatam, and this is your perfection. So, but the pure devotees, they understand when the Lord comes. They understand because they know how to detect a pure devotee. They have read the scriptures. So they know the scriptures I've written, the scriptures are mentioned. Like when we were reading Sri Chaitanya Caritamrta, how many evidences, more than 50 evidences, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives to show from different scriptures, Puranas, Upanishads, all the different various scriptures that Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, that Krishna comes as Lord Chaitanya in Kali Yuga. So Rupa Goswami detected him when he offered his first obeisances to Lord Chaitanya. He knew that Lord Chaitanya was Krishna himself and therefore offered his obeisances with the following words. I offer my respects to Krishna, who has now appeared as Lord Chaitanya. This is also confirmed in the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj. In Kali Yuga, he does not directly appear, but he appears as a devotee. So even Prahlad Maharaj is saying that. Now, Prahlad Maharaj was in Satyuga. So he's already forecasting Lord Chaitanya will come in Kali Yuga as Krishna will come in Kali Yuga as Lord Chaitanya. Vishnu is therefore known as Tri-Yuga. Another explanation of Tri-Yuga is that he has three pairs of divine attributes, namely power and affluence, piety and renown, and wisdom and dispassion. Three pairs of divine attributes, namely power and affluence, piety and renown, and wisdom and dispassion. Knowledge, renunciation, power, opulence, then fame and strength. So according to Sridhar Swami, his three pairs of opulences are complete riches and complete strength, complete fame, and complete beauty, and complete wisdom, and complete renunciation. Yeah, so as Parasara Muni said, what is the meaning of Bhagwan? Means one who has all these three opulences in full, complete, all of it, not missing. They are not to a certain degree, not to a degree. Each of us has certain of these things, but each of us has it to a very tiny degree. Some may have to a bigger degree, but there is someone who has complete, that is Krishna. There are different interpretations of Tri-Yuga, but it is accepted by all learned scholars that Tri-Yuga means Vishnu. When Kardama Muni understood that his son Kapila was Vishnu himself, he wanted to offer his obeisances. Therefore, when Kapila was alone, he offered his respects and expressed his mind as follows. So Kardama Muni is approaching his son Kapila, and we can continue to read that tomorrow. Any comments or anything to add? If no, then we'll stop here for today. Thank you so much for listening in and joining in. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktavinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.